This is a strong seller market, meaning we're starting to see bidding wars again, property sold way over ask. In a market like this, you can expect to pay over market value for your property. What's up everyone, Henrick Mathieu, your realtor here in Ottawa. It's been a while since we last spoke. I just had a baby boy, well, just 9 months ago, but I didn't have any free time. So parents listening, I think you understand what I mean. But now I'm back. I did put up a few home tours in the meantime. Maybe you guys saw this or not. I did rework my office, new look just for you guys. So today, a bunch of graphs, interesting statistics, just to let you know what's coming up in the spring market, the busiest time of the year after 2 years of basically a dead market. So that's gonna be really interesting. I wanna kick the show off today with a news that I saw recently that says, Lepage estimate that in this year we'll see 4 to 5% increase in home prices. It does make sense, and so far it's in line with what's going on in the market. But to understand this, we need to take a look at what happened in the past few years in real estate. As you know, COVID hit, prices go completely crazy, and we peaked at around February 2022, and that's where we saw our first rate increase, and that's where people kind of like hit the brake a bit, like, oh, what's going on, right? What it created is basically 2 years of pent-up demand. Sellers not too confident going on the market right now, and buyers just couldn't afford it. Everything was so expensive, the rates was eating up any buying power that it might have. But now that the Bank of Canada has maintained the rates for now 3 consecutive times in a row, buyer confidence is coming back. Like people, I think they see the end of the rate increases and they're like, okay, well, I can budget right now and hope that the rates come down and maybe buy my way into this decreasing monthly payment, right? And on top of that, we're already getting into the warm, like the hottest market of the year, which is spring. So all this combined, it's a pretty explosive mix, right? And when they say 4 to 5%, I think they're being conservatives just because it's always, we don't have a crystal ball, right? We go off the information we have. We go off what the Bank of Canada is saying, that they will lower the rates only around the end of the year. And I pray that they do this, otherwise it's gonna be absolute chaos. My prediction is that in 2025 is gonna be 8 to 12% increase in home prices because we're gonna be caught up in that rates decrease. People are just gonna get the buying fever again, and rightfully so, right? A lot of people were unable to buy, they're on the sideline, they have to buy now, and a lot of people just wanna not miss the boat again like they did during COVID. When stuff starts selling 200K over and you were already kind of at your limit at the entry-level homes, you're out, right? And those people, unfortunately, might end up be renters forever. So if you guys don't want to miss the boat, keep watching those videos. You'll be able to follow as we go along this year with those market updates, maybe get more information. So let's jump in with the statistics for the month of March. So first off, we have inventory versus sales versus the benchmark price. So what you see in blue here is the inventory. What you see in red is the sales line, and yellow is the benchmark price. As we move here, if you look around May, I'll take the little pen tool here, and right here, this is exactly when COVID hit. And you can tell you don't have this lull anywhere else except here. In April, people are like, what is going on? Less sales, and also here, same thing in price, lowered. Don't pay attention to my drawings, they're terrible. Let's redo this here. All right, and then, well, the rest is history. You know what happened, right? Sales through the roof, inventory completely declined, sales. The price went up. The price here was $560 for the average sales price, the benchmark price. And at the peak of the market, right here, we're sitting at $758. If you look here, that was peak of market, like I said earlier, February, March of 2022. That's when we saw our first rate increase. That's where people were like, what is going on? Let's pump the brake real quick. And then, price decrease. And it kind of held steady, right? We saw that price decrease over the first 6 months where the rates started to increase. And then pretty stable. That bump here is in line with like last spring, which is our busy time, right? And the price always do this at this time of the year. And so far this year, from November last year to March this year, we're already increased about $30,000 in average home price. So it's picking up. Here you can see the year-to-date sales by price range. So year-to-date is from the start of the year up to now, how many sales. And in blue here, you have 2023, yellow, you have 2024. So you can tell this year so far, less sales than last year. We're starting slowly, right? Buyer confidence is slowly coming back. Like I said, I expect the next few months to get much warmer than this, but it does tell you a few things. You can tell the mid-range homes, like 5 to 7 to even 8, there's less sale, but proportionally here, and the entry-level home, maybe like the 1-2 bedrooms, the condos, there's proportionally more sale that would be last year in the same categories. And if you go up to 900 to a mil, also the gap is much closer. What it tells you is that when they talk about the middle class collapsing and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, you can see it here, right? Everything that's in the middle, less sale. People are either falling on one side, like we can't afford anything but the entry level, we'll sacrifice comfort for a bit just to get in the market. Or people are like, oh yeah, we can move up. We have enough disposable income or enough equity built up that will move up, right? And if I'm correct, and I mean, I wish I wasn't, because I wish people had access to this much more easily. But if I'm correct, it's gonna, if you're almost at your limit now, in 2 years, you're gonna be out. You're gonna be priced out, and that's unfortunate, but we expect Ottawa population to double before 2050. 2050, that's not that far ahead, right? We're talking 25 years, double. Do you think they're gonna be able to build enough to absorb that demand? Not a chance. So it's just gonna drive the demand up, up, and up, and the prices will follow, of course. All right, here you can see month inventory by property type. And when I mean month of inventory is, let's say like towns, right? They're at 1.5 months of inventory. That means that if no new townhomes come in the market at all, 0 new listings in 1.5 months, everything should be sold out. That's kind of like the metric we use for this. And when you think about it, that's only 6 weeks. It's a very, I wouldn't say concerning, but like it just shows you towns and semis at what people can afford, and it drives the demand up and the supplies are shrinking. The 2 red lines that you can see here on this graph, those represent a balanced market. And when we say balanced market is where buyers and sellers kind of have the same leverage. You can expect to pay fair market value for your property. That's what a balanced market is. And as you can see, we haven't been in a balanced market in a while. Last November, last fall, we were kind of peaking in on the detached side. That didn't last, right? Right at the start of the year, boom, we're back in a seller's market. And when you're under 2 months of inventory, like in towns, this is a strong seller market, meaning we're starting to see bidding wars again, properties sold way over asked, no conditions offer. I always advise against, but it's happening. It's a great time to be a seller, but if you're a buyer, like I said, in a market like this, you can expect to pay over market value for your property. Now, there's a few things to consider about this. If you pay over ask now, let's say you're buying a $500,000 property and you're paying, let's say 5% over ask, which is $25,000. So you pay $525,000 for that property, you know you overpaid, right? The other side of this is you decide, oh no, like I'm not gonna buy now, this is crazy, this is too expensive. Well, prices are not gonna go down, right? So, like I said, they expect 5%, 4 to 5% an increase in prices. So what's gonna happen is in a year, if you didn't buy it, in a year that home's gonna worth that, and you're just gonna have to pay that price, and then you might still have to fight for it. And then that 5% or up to 10% over ask that you'll have to pay, then it's based off that $525 that the house actually worth now. Looking historically at the market in Ottawa, you might want to sacrifice, or you want to fight a bit harder to be in the market when that 4 to 5 this year happened. And next year, if I'm correct, the 8 to 12% increase, and the year after, who knows? And then you get to profit from that equity. Otherwise, you'd just be on the sidelines trying to catch up with your savings to pay and like get in the market. So, you know, it's really personal. That's a conversation we can have just to like look over your specific case, obviously, but that's some things to consider. Here we have number of sales per month. The only 2 years that are above this year so far are 2021 and 2022, which were crazy years. Otherwise, we're on par or above the 10-year average. It's encouraging, mean that the market is reheating, mean that buyers are coming back, there's more transaction, the market is picking up a bit. And lastly here, we have inventory over months. So you can tell, 2020, 2021, 2022. Well, 2022, that green line here, you can see exactly where the rates started to increase because the inventory sales dropped, so inventory went up. Coasting at about like here in October last year, about like 4,800 properties. Then slight decrease as usual at the end of the year. And this year we're starting at around 4,000 and we're going up, right? We're about at 4,600 right now, but it's gonna be interesting to see where this leads up. Final thoughts on this. If you guys are thinking about buying in this market, if you're just new, you're a first time home buyer and you're thinking about making that move, I would advise look into it seriously now. I've mentioned this 25 times in this video, but you don't wanna miss the boat. I don't want you to get in a situation when you're priced out of the market and then you can't afford that property for you and your family and you're stuck up renting. Deal with whoever you want, just go to the motion and get your numbers ready. Have a real conversation with your significant other just to see, is this possible for you now? And if not, listen, we'll find a solution down the road. I think just now might be the easier time you'll have over the next few years, right, to get in the market. And after this, when everything settles down a little bit, who knows where the price are gonna be, right? It might be much higher than right now. And that being said, if you're a seller, just make sure that you buy and sell around the same time. I had a client who was like, oh, we're gonna sell our property and then maybe rent for 2 years, trying to shop around and then get something. I'm like, you're gonna sell at a market here and buy at a market here, right? At the very least, you wanna do the opposite. You wanna buy when it's low, you wanna sell when it's high. So just make sure, it goes without saying, I'm gonna say it anyway, just make sure you buy it in the same market. Now, if you guys need help with any of this, if you wanna have a conversation around those numbers, if you want more numbers, if you want me to look at your specific situation and give you options, going over your numbers, put you in touch with the right professional in the industry, let me know. My contact information is in the description down below. You can also book a really quick meeting, like 15, 30 minutes over Zoom. We can have this conversation. So I hope you guys enjoyed the market update. I hope it was not too lengthy. If so, just let me know in the comment what you think. Should I be longer, shorter, more graphs, less graph, more news? Let me know, I'll adjust because that's gonna be a new standing show on the channel every month, market update like this, just so you know. I want you to be informed, give you all the tools so you make the best decision for you and your family. And again, just leave me a comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. See you guys.